with her today. Thank you. Here we are.
Okay. Okay. So my part will be recorded so I can share. But after Dr. Huang's teaching, we won't record it. There's no replay for his part due to his firsthand research himself and also long tradition lineage, how to pass on the knowledge. We will have a slides to telling people about that, but we will continue teaching the Taoist medicine in the future if you're interested, and then you can let us know. Okay, thank you, Dana, for the wonderful introduction, and thank you everyone to come this morning. Yeah, a lot of new faces. There are some older acupuncturists, there are new future acupuncturists, and a lot of long life friends here. Love to see you all. Love you. Okay, I'll start my presentation here. The content is first time presentation. If you're on smooth flow, the logic not quite connected, just forgive me. So let's start my presentation. I'll share. Okay. Just so the show here. Okay. So today it's our first time to introduce this Taoist medicine model about ancestral qi influence on our health, our spirituality, and our life's destiny. And this part has been studied by Master Huang and himself, or as his students, and he will introduce mainly on that part. I will do the connection and the bridging from the TCM and the modern science point of view and how we apply this knowledge. And so that is my focus, and also how to understanding the scope of Chinese medicine and the Taoist medicine. So if you're coming here, you probably all read the Taoism, the classic book, Tao De Jing. And the most famous philosophy is, and also presenting how the universe is created, is from the Tao generates one, and one generates two, two generates three, and three generates everything. The marriage thing, 1,000 things, were all lives on earth. And how we understanding this in our life science, and I will stretching out in this presentation. So living between the heaven and earth, our human is the production or the result of the harmonious of heaven and earth energy. So human is considered the three treasure, heaven, human, earth, on earth, and connecting the heaven chi and the earth chi. Our physical body is reflecting the energy flow on earth. And if we sitting on the beach, observing the ocean flow, we can see the moist, the steam after receiving the sunlight and raising up and then cooling down in heaven and form to the cloud. And the cloud and will bring the fresh, the the water and through the rain come down to the earth and nourishing all the life plants on earth. So then we have the life cycle, and through this generation nonstop. So this is a part of the Tao working in the universe and between the heaven and earth, and also given the life of human being between this space. So in this space is we call the qi. That's the energy or qi or vital or life energy we all absorbing, breathing. In the Taoist practice, we all think, how can we steal the cosmic energy, heaven energy, earth energy, and back to our body? So when we understanding the 5-element principle, and we know we can use the resources on earth, the plants, the anything, water, and the energy, ocean, mountain, any part of the earth can be a healing and energy to the body. So now looking at the inside the human body, that is exactly reflecting the earth's energy flow, and the kidney corresponding to the ocean, our heart is corresponding to the sun, and the sun and it's the heart, the heat will come down through the small intestine, transfer large intestine, warm up the kidney, and then steam up the water through urine bladder and steam up to the lung, and the lung will accumulate and to the water and the spreading out through our skin, our tissue, and the moistening our whole body. So when your skin is dry, it means your lung qi is deficient, kidney qi could be deficient. So lung is our upper body water source. Our kidney is the lower part of body water source. So dehydration, that is the most important. So this is the physical life in our body, reflecting the energy flow between the heaven and the earth. So our life is not just physical on the 3D level. That's what we are going to talk about today. And what's the spiritual aspect of our human life? In the long history of Taoist culture, there's so much deep system, and to understanding human is cosmic being, is not just the earth being. Mm-hmm. So through the numerology and the energy, especially energy and the internal observation, and to observing how the universe working, so it creates very complete system, and understanding human is part of the universe, and knowing where we come from and how our human life runs. Now I go back to this slide. So for current medical system, regardless Western medicine or TCM, we focusing on the life is after birth, and then goes through growth, maturation, aging, and the death. So that mainly the 5 cycles, and how the life after death and the life before death, we don't know. We know very little. And spirituality, the field, and it start towards understanding. And the traditional cultures across the world, they all has knowledge about the life after death and the spirituality. So today we will introduce you about Taoist medicine, understanding the full cycle of the life existing in the universe. So that is classified into 12 stages. And from birth, growth, maturation, aging, illness, and the death. After death, so there are also a few stages, and we have long tradition in Taoist culture. Then we do like 7 weeks, each week 7 days, so totally 49 days, and ritual to clearing the deceased people's energy, helping them to elevate their soul and return to the source. And also how to prepare our birth. So Master Huang will give you more insight on this subject. Okay, so let me give you general introduction about Taoist life science and how the understanding the life where they come from. I'll try to speak a little slower. Okay, so the Tao is from nothing, invisible, from the energy into the manifest to the body. The human is also followed this principle on earth. And so Tao generate the one. So the one, and in the life science, we call it the light of the life, the light of the life. So our soul is where it's come from, is the part of the universe, the Tao. In the Taoist practice, so we say we separate from the Tao, then we carry the part of the responsibility and from the Tao, and we carry the nature of the Tao. So we can call them as a Tianyun, the soul part, the eternal part. When people die, it will return the source. So it comes down to the human body. When mother and the father want to have a baby, they want to conceive. So the sperm and the egg will merging together and to stimulate or receive by this light of the life, and it will manifest it into a human form, because this human, the light of the life, and carries the whole message or ability, the energy, so can form the human form through stages. And in human, it's 10 months. So this energy, then we call the prenatal essence and prenatal energy and the prenatal spirit. In Chinese, we call the 元精元气元神. When I working on the stem cells research, so I can see the stem cell is shining the light, and when they expanding and grows and they under the microscope, so we can see that. So that is, you can see that is the light of the life. So when yin yang harmony, and it will generation, and then that will carry the Taoist nature and the manifest in the physical level. And any production is between the yin yang, it will manifest it. So there is one yang and one yin. We call it is the follow the Tao's principle, and human life is like that. So human carries half yin, half yang, and carries heaven's nature and also earth's nature. The heaven's nature is the to initiation and to generate. And the earth's nature is manifest, nurturing, completion. So these two energy is the heaven and the earth. So that would generate human on earth. So man carries heaven's energy. Yes, so the energy is the active, initiative, and the female energy is carried the yin energy of the cosmos energy. So it has the nurturing, flexible, loving compassion. And they combine together, it complete the yin and the yang, and they can also generate offsprings. So then we have the life continue on earth. Without the man and woman cannot produce. Without female, there are no births to generate on earth. And in the Taoist culture, there's no discrimination between men and the women, and they carry different function, different energy from the universe. So they carry different roles. So that is the differentiation. Okay, so here is general summarization that was the philosophy and also influence our person's life or lifestyle or how we living on earth. We already introduced the principle from the Tao generative one initiation, and the one generated two, and this is the yin yang separation, and the two generate the three, the harmony, and from the three will generate merit things. Oops, sorry. So, oh, sorry, go to the wrong direction. So the original Qi, it followed these principle from energy form into physical form. So life on earth, if we wanted to obtain longevity and the disease-free condition, we need to nourishing our essence, physical body, energy, and also our spirit. So often people feel the fatigue of their spirit, and then you have no energy to do anything. So spirit, it consider it's control the life. It's the most important aspect in our life, our emotion, our association with people's connection and reaction to everything is all determined by what we believe, how that affecting our emotions. And our emotion, they also determine our action. And if we have a good positive emotion outcome, we can make things happening and not destructive. Nowadays, we can see the kids and young children from very early on and taking in the pill for anxiety, for depression. So what's wrong with them? And so today you will understanding the deep root, what's the cause for people has a negative emotion pattern. And in the clinic, we also treating the people and feel like they are getting better, but after a while, you feel like they all go back the way it is. Yeah, is our medicine not working? Actually, it's not. is their emotional pattern. So you will find out the root of cause today. So for people practicing Taoism, they take their action in their life through their eating, exercise, and living follow the season, and they all understanding the nature of the food. We are talking about the 5 flavors and the energy, heat, and the cold of the food. So those are the basic foundation for TCM, and also is for Taoist medicine, traditional medicine. So that is the physical cultivation we call the Ming, vital energy. And we also cultivate our heart nature. And if people study or practice some Buddhism, so that part is very similar. And we cultivate our Taoist heart. We call it Taoist heart. It's not the meaty heart. Then we have an ego, have desire. So how to develop or cultivate selfless service and loving compassion heart. So we call it Taoist heart. When the time is ready, we don't say death, we call the transformation. So the conscious dying and the natural dying, or dying without the disease, is the goal or practice in the Taoist culture. And people able to know the time they are dying, and mostly, most of them, if you're healthy, it's like the time of the birth. Our body is very intelligent. So we have that clock so that you know when you can leave or depart from this planet. And then you can prepare and returning to the source. So that is the ideal cycle of the life on earth. Okay, so this slide again representing the current medical system and also traditional Chinese medicine, or modern traditional Chinese medicine. What we focusing on is from the birth and to death. So that is the time. If we can maintain healthy body or healthy condition, mind, body, spirit healthy, then we have a long life. So we call that is joy of the life. But if you have a disease and could not accomplish, could not to get cured, and long struggle or suffering, so that it called the suffer of the life. And then in the later of this presentation, and we can also see the unhealthy life or disease or unhealthy way of death can also influence our ancestral energy. Okay, so here is the summary of the 12 stages. The conceptual to birth, and about 10 months long, and people maybe pre-birth, premature birth can be shorter. In our life cycle, and normally can up to 120 or go, and or even longer. And I believe in our generation, we definitely will live longer than our parents' generation. And then after death, so their period of time in the Buddhism, we call the Bardo time period. So in our culture, Taoist culture, we will do ritual every 7 days. That's the how to helping the deceased one to clear their energy from the earthbound. So I'm just summarize that. You have the handout about the differences between TCM and the Taoist medicine. And basically the differences is the spiritual aspect. And TCM right now is more contemporary. So they remove the spirituality aspect. When I do the teaching, when we touching about the Shen, the spiritual, the soul, the Hun Po aspect, we can just only briefly because we don't have much deeper knowledge about that. But now we are going to explore deeper, understanding more in the meaning. Also, because the modern science development, quantum physics, and epigenetics function, so that can give the explanation about these phenomena. So our conscious level in the Taoist culture can summarize in these five levels. We can also have 9 levels. So it's indicating your living beings, your mind, your conscious can each reach different level. In the contemporary spirituality, there are also pyramid skills, and for the highest consciousness and loving compassion, so they can reach like a 900 some frequency. So that is similar concept. This is just to give you, this is for thousands of years, understanding the collective consciousness about the human being. And you can also to see where's your conscious level and what's your lifestyle to the current. Okay, so I'm just to give you some bridging between my teaching and the Master Huang's and about the ancestral qi, so that we can define it as transgenerational life energy, so that can influence our DNA expression and through the epigenetic mechanism. So it just laid out the flow chart. Then you can have an idea. So the collective consciousness, and that is our ancestral chi field. Yeah, our life is come from there, and how many spirit will involve in our each individual life is our own pattern or our own blueprint. So our each individual life information is come from the source, the Tao, the life of the light, and also our ancestral energy, and will impact our own life. So that's here we classify 3 areas. So it contains genetic heritage. We can directly from our father or mother DNA chromosome. So directly heritage, and also karmic causality, karmic from our ancestral ancestors, and also in family karmic. The karmic is family karmic, and our ancestral lineage carried the dramatic event will impact on the offspring. So that is the condition, congenital factor, even during the pregnancy period time, can also affecting our health. Like the infant fetus and have a umbilical cord run up their neck, and I mean those where the mother has an illness during the pregnancy. So those are the congenital, also considered prenatal conditions. So here I'll talk about the epigenetic regulations through the ancestral behavior, emotion, and your experience. So that profound through the quantum physics or entangled mechanism affecting the offspring condition. In Taoist cultures, thousands of years in the Taoist canon, they already reported there's a term we called carry the negative ancestral energy, so that will impact to the offspring. If the fetus, if the newborn cannot live above 3 to 3 years old, that's all due to these karma influence. So that is in the classic book documented. So the third aspect is the environmental influence, the geographic energy. Yeah, I think that's very easy to understand where you're born, where you come from, which part of you, where you live on the earth. Yeah, you have a different the pattern and also susceptibility to illness and also your constitution. So that is generally, we summarize 3 aspects influenced by the ancestral energy on our human body. So that after birth, then you can see the physical constitution. In TCM, I taught the physical constitution classified as 10. So I taught these for a few years. Emotional pattern and the behavior pattern. This is we start to learn, explore. That's become the basic TCM psychology information. So today we will explore some of these. That's also very close to our daily life, our health. Okay, so this slide is from the Master Huang's 15 by 15 theory for the ancestral energy influence our the channels. Then you can see there's a from the FF here, that's the father's father, father's mother. I won't explain this. He will explain much better in detail than me. And then we can see the channels appear from here, the heart and the small intestine. There is a pair. Urine bladder and the kidney is a pair. You carry pericardium, essential, and the liver and gallbladder. So then can see the yin-yang pair and in this pattern. So the yin-yang pair is similar, and this is my understanding. A yin-yang pair is similar on the quantum bit pair. So that the yin-yang pair is TCM or Taoist culture, Asian science language, and to explain or now modern life science and discover this phenomenon, and they are using the quantum bits to explain these phenomena. Those are used in the universal existing phenomena, and it's the fact. So the term language is just in the different life, different time, using different concept. So for you understanding the Taoist culture and the life science and the medicine is very advanced. Just the language is old, difficult to understand for modern people, but the content and the method is very advanced. Okay, here this slides give you another summary about how the ancestral energy affecting and to express and to affecting the physical form after we born. So then affecting the 23 pairs of chromosome. Every human body, everyone has 23 pairs of chromosome. The one pair, the last pair is determine the sex. So if you contain Y chromosome, you are male. If you have a double X chromosome, you are females. So that's, you can see the nature producing the human on earth in and the young, it presenting in the chromosome pattern. So the karmic cycles, the family karmic cycle, ancestral inheritance, and also the transgenerational ancestral influence. Those are the energy field can influence the expression of the DNA and then become manifested into the form. So we all contain the same chromosome genetic code, but each of us can become different from each other. So that is their invisible factors influence these in expression. So that is the energy, cosmic energy, ancestral energy. So that impact the DNA expression. And then we become who we are, our individual physical, mind, emotional pattern and the behavior. So that is the general summary. It gave you a picture to understanding the presentation and the meaning of today's workshop. Okay. So the application for this ancestral energy affecting our emotion. And this is my clinic little research was study, you know, after learning this model and how we using the ancestral energy for the clinic use. And so that directly into the psychology part. And as I said in the beginning, the people we are treating, especially people with a chronic condition, and you will see it's so hard to make a change unless your lifestyle, the way of thinking, the way relationship with the food, it will change. So that's all involved into our inner beliefs, our the ancestral energy influence the emotion, and then influence our chi mechanic into our body, and then affecting our organ and our health. So in TCM, when we do diagnosis, and we always ask people, what's your general emotional state? So people say, I have all over. Some say, oh, I'm balanced, I'm pretty happy. And some say, oh, I have anxiety. I mean, we hear anxiety, stress, and that's very, very common these days. So if people have some emotional pattern without external factors, and then we have to seeking deeper level or cause. And here, so this emotional pattern, so it will affecting our spiritual level, the Shen, Hun, this is the TCM term or Taoist term. And we will have a presentation in next month and to talk about this aspect. The three ethereal cells. So it's not our main topic today, but just this is a higher level of the spiritual energy influence our physical energy. So 7 Po is the physical energy corresponding the organs and channels, and also is reflecting our instinct response and the emotion. So when we anger or when we have a fear, so where that come from and which organ involved, so then you will see. I give you all handout if you print out. At the end of the PDF file, I did give you the questionnaire about how to assess your emotional pattern. It's very useful, so you can to mark for yourself. So that will govern your chi dynamic and your energy pattern and your life behavior. So in Taoist medicine, we believe our disease is manifested in 3 levels. The physical level, if you have a trauma, or if you disagree with the weather, catching cold, then you suffer the physical level condition. We don't call that real disease, and it's easy to fix. And we see a lot of aching pains, flu, coughing, so easy to fix, take some herbs and speed up the healing. We're dealing a lot of those, but it's not a real disease in human being. So the real disease actually is on this emotional and spiritual level. Right now we talk about the emotional level. So you can see even a little child, they can anger and make a fuss. People can blow up their anger or to be very difficult to deal with. They have their own beliefs or their own favorite. So these energy pattern and where they come from, and so we are looking for is what we did. So this is what we are looking for today, and it's influenced by the ancestral energy. This is just general education about the energy movement inside our body. When we do TCM teaching, to explain people physical comfort, if we call the liver chi stagnation or liver fire, where people anger, it's mostly the rising energy follow the liver is rushed to the brain, to the head. When that's can people have a headache. When the exterior condition causing the headache is mostly is due to the neck was tightening up, so the upper energy cannot flowing down, so that can remain there's some energy, heat energy in the head. That can also causing the headache. And for people, if you are stomach not feeling good, have a cold or bloating, or eating something suddenly don't feel good, so that's blocking the axis of spleen stomach function. Then you feel tired, fatigue. Yeah, all of a sudden cannot move. It sounds very severe. So that summertime, we often have this condition. So that's blocking the middle chi flow. And when the lung catching cold, our skin pore all closing up. So we say that the lung chi is not able to disperse. So then we have a long qi rebelling, can have a coughing. So those are we use to explain the phenomena inside our body, explain the organ involved. And the emotion reflecting on the organs, and that is, we conclude there's a 6 emotions. Fearful is related to the kidney, and sadness relate to the lung, and anger is to the liver, joyfulness is heart, worries is spleen, sadness again. Okay, I'm probably missing something. Repeated. Okay, so when we diagnose people, we through this emotion and to see which organ is involved as part of the diagnosis. And in TCM, it's very limited to understanding deeper emotional connection. Here is listing the 3 Hun, the higher spirit energy, which control our thinking, our emotion, and our physical strengths, the human Hun. And we will teaching more detail on this subject in our next workshop. So today, like give you a quick understanding about the 7 for our emotion response. So that is the basic emotion corresponding the physical level, the spirit. And so the 7, one controls survival, defense, intimacy, possessiveness, rejection, cleansing, and sadness. So this is general category. And when it's deficient, so it become more fearful and or nervous, very defensive, or have a strong desire or attachment, and very control and resistance, rejection, cannot listen other people's advices, and also very suppressive, accumulation. And the last one is sadness, and feel sad no matter what. So then you can see what meridian and the related to these emotions. Again, we will learn in more detail on this subject in our next workshop. So for treating, how to treat them, we need to regulate energy, internal energy, regulate our organs, strengthen the organ energy. I will just quickly summarize that the bridging Taoist life science and the modern science I already mentioned. This part of presentation, I can send you a handout. And you email me because I don't know who attending today or not attending. So send me email, request the PDF, and so you can read. So the modern life science, and to have a broader understanding about the human life, that's also give the bridge or to more accept traditional life science. So this is a good thing. So the epigenetic mechanism able to explain the transgenerational phenomena, how ancestral energy impact to our offspring. And so immorally and culturally, so that will be to everyone to have to pay attention to their own behavior and their life, so they won't create the negative karma to their offspring. Okay, so also the purpose of this understanding this topic, the ancestral energy, and in fact our life and physical health. So we need to transform that. How to do it? Then we need to cultivate our heart and the spiritual path, and that's the only door for this. And the last topic is how death influenced the emotion pattern in the ancestral energy. This is one of my interest topic. I wrote a book about the conscious dying and also looking for the answer how the death living in or affecting the death or life after death. So with collaborating, working with some Master Huang, so we find the answer. So the death can causing the energy either not completion for the death energy return to the source. Those are can impact to the health and also long-term exhaustion causing the fearfulness and also can impact not only themselves but their offspring in the emotional pattern. So I do have one case in the clinic. So she has a very severe emotional trauma, physical trauma. I did a questionnaire and to diagnose her. Is this very useful? If we only using TCM diagnosis and we cannot find this part of the condition. So this also give me the hope for the future acupuncturist. And you can expand your practice in the psychology and spirituality, emotion. I mean, health is our scope of the practice, but we don't have the tool. And now we are developing this tool to helping you and to expanding and have more complete medicine and to practice. So overall, one of the poor is deficient involved in the kidney organ. And then after the healing, and the patients wrote, the healing process has been extraordinary. Through that, at the beginning, he able to sleep again, experiencing forgiveness and the love, and discover deeper connection to my spiritual beliefs about the karma and the people we meet in the 3D world and her purpose in her consciousness. So she would describing this kind of healing is miraculous. So that is the application about understanding the ancestral energy and to impact our practice. And it's elevated our practice skills and also understanding deeper about the meaning of the illness and the chronic disease. And the most important, and also it's my work about the conscious dying and the dying after death. Life after death, how we care. So that's our Taoist practice. So my presentation is down for now. I'm a little off take a little longer. And the 7 poor questionnaires is in your PDF file. I can resubmit it when you request this part of the content. So, or you can read this through. So then just okay, thank you everyone. And after that, we'll take a 5 minutes break, and so allow Master Huang continue. And so Aurora will just read this part a little bit, then just give up.
Okay, the following portion of the workshop is based on the original research of Master Huang and teachings that have been carefully preserved and transmitted through a direct Taoist lineage. These teachings are regarded as sacred and are traditionally shared through direct personal instruction. To honor the integrity of this lineage and preserve the authenticity of the learning experience, audio and video recording of this section is not permitted. This knowledge is intended to be received through participation, practice, and continued study with authorized teachers within the lineage. For this reason, no replay recording or handouts will be provided for this portion of the workshop. We sincerely appreciate your understanding and respect for this long-standing tradition.